Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. And now that the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade is complete, we've learned a couple of things about Ethereum. And most importantly, we've learned that this event and this upgrade was not at all a bearish one, but on the contrary, it was a very bullish one. And since this upgrade has happened, not only has Ethereum deposits outpaced Ethereum withdrawals, but we've also seen the price of Ethereum exploding to the upside since this upgrade happened about 2 days ago. So we're going to be talking about everything that's happening in the world of crypto, especially when it centers around this Ethereum upgrade that we just had, because Ethereum is approaching a very major level of resistance that used to be a really large support for Ethereum, and if it breaks out here, it could cause a much further bull run in the price action of Ethereum. So stick around for today's video. There's a lot to talk about, lots of positive things happening in the world of crypto as well. ZK developments are doing phenomenal, especially when it comes to Ethereum layer 2s, and eToro and Uniswap are adding all sorts of new features to make crypto more accessible to the everyday person. So let's go ahead and start this off and talk about what's happening on Ethereum, right? You know, it's the big dog in crypto, it's the father of the altcoins, and it has been playing out phenomenally, which is kind of why this article talks about it and saying, hey, you know, the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade is over. We're now able to have withdrawals, which was something that was promised. And the reason why I think that this is so kind of crucial and important to Ethereum is that Ethereum is typically a project that comes out with stuff late. They have a lot of delays. They tend to come out with stuff late. And this was not the case for withdrawals. They said, hey, withdrawals are going to be available in the future. And within a year of Ethereum moving to its natural upgrade that we saw, I think, last summer, within a year of that, really within about 9 months of that, they've already enabled withdrawals. So they followed up fairly fast and added exactly what they said that they were going to add. And they did exactly what they say that they were going to do. And so with all of this happening, again, Ethereum looks like they are now becoming not only, you know, farther progressing and more scalable as a project, but they're also becoming more efficient. So again, I see all of this as a really big win for Ethereum. And now that withdrawals are enabled, I think that this will increase the number of people that will stake on Ethereum because they now know that they can withdraw. Whereas previously, users just had the promise of, hey, at some point in the future, you're going to be able to withdraw. We just don't know when that is. And then now it's, hey, we already have this feature where you can withdraw. So if you want to stake, you always have that option now that is going to be built in. So a lot of people are really excited about that. And so once this happened, again, there was the misconception that everyone was going to be able to unstake their Ethereum all at the same time and that it's going to crash the price of Ethereum. We learned and talked about how that was not true. It was not the case. In fact, withdrawals are going to be processed over the course of the next year or so based upon when you staked your Ethereum. So the first person who staked is going to be one of the first people to be able to withdraw, and so on and so forth. It's going to come at a first come, first served basis. Now, the second part of this is that ever since this upgrade, Ethereum has been exploding from around $1,800 all the way up to now being around $2,100. But this is a really big level. So obviously we have a nice climbing level of support. We have a golden cross on the Ethereum chart. Ethereum's using the 50-day and the 200-day moving average as support in here. There's a lot of great things to talk about in the Ethereum chart. But if we want to look at all of the data, we can also see that this is a big former support level around 2100 for Ethereum. And so as it approaches this former support, it's already tested this area as a resistance twice in the past. Now, the first time that it did this was upon breaking to the downside over here. It immediately broke down, retested 2100, rejected it, and then that's when we saw this low of last year come in, was right after this break, hook, and go to the downside. So again, 2100 previous support immediately tested as a resistance with 3 to 4 separate daily candles, and then we came back up into the I almost said the 2000s. We came back up into the 2000s, rejected it again, and most recently, we just touched 2100 again today. And we need to see whether or not we're able to break through or whether we reject here. But I do think that it's something that needs to be brought to everyone's attention, you know, because a lot of people don't exactly know how to chart and do technical analysis, and that's perfectly okay. And so my goal is to keep everyone informed of everything that is happening. and explain it in a way that hopefully everyone can understand. And if you have questions on it, you can always throw a comment in the comment section down below as well. So let me explain that if Ethereum does reject here, it's not the end of the day for Ethereum. There's several layers of support below this, especially as it starts getting back into around 1700. There's going to be support even closer to around 15 and 1400, and even closer to 1300. There's going to be several layers of support if Ethereum rejects here, and that can even be a really healthy thing for the Ethereum chart, because if it needs to retrace back down to support, form a higher swing low, then come up and retest this, it just further argues that this is a giant ascending triangle, which is overall a very bullish formation that Ethereum could be seeing. So if we come up, we place maybe a third or a fourth higher swing low somewhere in this range, then come back up and retest resistance, that could be one of the final touch points before we see the next breakout, if we don't see it happen, immediately where we're currently priced in at. So, maybe tomorrow we just rip through this thing, or on Monday or Tuesday or something like that, and we see Ethereum soaring back towards $3,000. I'd love to see it, but I'd also love to get a lower entry as well on a lot of Ethereum. So again, I see this as a win-win. We talked about that a little bit on Wednesday's video, but there's a lot happening over here. So let's talk about some of the news. Well, Ethereum's Layer 2 network ZK Sync era jumps to nearly $250 million and the locked value. More than 7 million transactions have been conducted on the network since its launch, which can process around 3.5 transactions per second, which is what the data is showing. So ZK, this whole, ZK everything has been all over the news, as has Layer 2 networks for the majority of the last 12 or so months. Layer 2s have been everywhere. I mean, you look at Matic, you look at Optimism, Arbitrum just launched their token as well. They're a really big Layer 2. You also have Immutable X, which is a little bit more of like a scaling solution as opposed to a Layer 2 at its most basic form. And you have a lot of these that have been doing phenomenally this year. Again, I think Matic, Immutable X, Optimism, all of them are up at least 100% from my understanding. And Arbitrum just got launched. So there's been a lot of news and a lot of hype around this. And it's good to see that there is, positive attention in TVL as well. And the final thing that I saw, and this is actually twofold. I don't have the other article up over here, but one of the things that I wanted to mention is back on before we get off Ethereum, Ethereum saw its transactions in a very interesting spot the past day or so. So following the Shanghai update where people were able to withdraw, Ethereum had more deposits than it had withdrawals. And I don't have the chart in front of me. Maybe I'll flash it up on the screen or something. But I just went over to the block and was looking at withdrawals versus deposits. And deposits still outnumber withdrawals even after the ability to withdraw has been added. So there has been no outflow there, and I meant to say that earlier. Secondly, Uniswap's app is coming back to Apple devices, to the App Store. That was a big news because Uniswap is obviously one of the most popular and used DEX in crypto. And the third part is the one that I have right in front of me. eToro is going to be offering crypto trading directly to Twitter users. So under an agreement, the social investing firm will provide Twitter users with real-time prices on cryptos, stocks, and other assets while directing them to the eToro platform to do their investing. So this is obviously a massive partnership. Twitter is, needs no introduction. eToro is a pretty large platform as well. I've gotten to talk to a couple of their team members, and this seems to be a positive thing for just about everyone. So that's going to round us up for this video, everyone. Again, a lot happening, a lot to keep your eye out on. We are on the brink of something very, very large, and we've talked about this. The total 2 is looking fairly good. I mean, this thing looks like it wants to break out. The last main level of resistance that altcoins have is going to be around $700 billion. And I could not be any more excited to hopefully see a little bit of a retest here. So that's going to round us out, everyone. Thank you all for watching. If you like the content that we make, then as always, consider hitting the like button, consider hitting the subscribe button, and I will be back in next Wednesday's video.